the other big story we had today was John Deere tractors. Big here in the Midwest, I can say that much. Um, Interestingly enough, super woke.
What? That is just so dumb. Just like Tractor Supply, when it went woke for a minute, it was like, bro, do you know who your audience is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what in the heck they were thinking. But apparently, some of what Robbie Starbuck found was that they're funding a pride event for kids as young as 3,
What the?
doing a genderbread man training. They ask employees who list their preferred pronouns on all communications. Bill Gates is listed as their largest shareholder, which, I mean, you can't really control who buys your stock, to be fair.
Right.
John Deere celebrated their accounting and finance team taking United Way's 21-day United for Equity program. The equity program promotes Ibram Kendi, the woke children's book, Anti-Racist Baby, Awake to Woke to Work, podcast on the concept of whiteness, woke activist Robin DiAngelo's bigotry against Christians who supposedly have their Christian privilege, and more. What else do they have here? Woke policies are spread across the global John Deere brand. I mean, here, let's take a little bit of what Robbie has to say here. If I thought he had a video attached to this. Yeah, here we go.
All right, y'all, it's time to expose John Deere. As many of you know, we had a very big win recently with Tractor Supply where we got them to drop all their woke policies.
Yep.
Well, I regret to inform you that John Deere, another company that relies on conservative customers, has also gone woke. This page you see behind me is their personal pronoun policy. They encourage employees to use pronouns in all communication. And I'm just warning you now, you're going to want to strap in because this is going to be a long video and, in my opinion, much worse than Tractor Supply. But let's continue. This is an event that John Deere sponsored called Capital City Pride's Little Rainbow Run. It was for kids as young as 3 years old to engage in pride. And side note, I don't care if you're gay or straight, kids should not be celebrating what type of sex you like. It's weird, it's creepy. Here's a fun photo we found on LinkedIn. Yes, this is John Deere employees being trained on the genderbread man. Yes, the genderbread man. If you're not familiar with that, it's the whole concept that basically gender is completely fluid. There's no such thing as your biological sex. You just are whatever you think you are. So much like Tractor Supply used to have, John Deere has what are called ERG groups. These are a way to divide people on identity lines. Pure identity politics. They separate you by race, sexuality, or any number of these things. This is a post about their rainbow ERG group, which, if you guessed was their gay group, you were correct. You're going to want to see the logos that were made for it. As much as I wish I was joking, I am very much not joking. These are real logos that were posted on LinkedIn. Which, side note, John Deere is much more open about their belief system on LinkedIn than they are on other social medias. I wonder why that is. But
More lefties using that.
And it's exclusively for like HR people and all this stuff. I mean, it's wild to me that like drag queens don't drive tractors, conservative farmers do.
Yep.
Like what's wild is, all this stuff, just like they just do this stuff with impunity for years and years and years. And then I feel like people who are, against it are like,
right,
wait a minute. I used to have, Chad is asking about my tractor. I used to have 2 different John Deeres, but I have a Kubota now. John Deere also has this issue with right to repair, where they don't buy their products to be able to repair them. It's all wild to me that this stuff just goes on for years and years.
Yeah.
And like, they just get fat. They get fat on the idea they get fat on their customers who don't pay attention. Like, farmers aren't on freaking LinkedIn. Farmers,
no.
My brother-in-law is a farmer and he's not on social media. You know why? It's because he's working all the time.
Exactly. That's how I have family members who are farmers and they don't know, like, they're not checking social media or anything like that. They're working really hard.
Yeah, and most of the, I think most of these people, first of all, talking about checking Christian privilege and
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like the majority of their customers are going to
Almost
be
certainly.
Christian farmers.
Yeah.
That is just insanity.
If you've ever actually gone to church, you see that the
And
farmers are
what
there
is
in
Christian
big
privilege?
numbers.
What is this Christian privilege they speak of? Because Christians are constantly being attacked all the time. And that they'll go after Christianity, but they won't go after like Muslims and all that. But they go after Christians. We are constantly under social attack all the time.
Yeah, because it's easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Oh, we have
easy and
Christian privilege. I've not seen said privilege.
yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing is wild to me. I don't understand how this stuff just it gets into these companies once they get publicly traded and they're like there's no penalty for it, essentially. There's just hey, people are going to be mad online, but that's okay. We don't care. We get more. What happens is once these companies are publicly traded,
Yeah.
there are benefits to having this like DEI woke crap because like certain people will invest in your company if you are participating in these type of things. That's how this works. People say, well, why do companies do this? Well, because super huge mega corporations need people to invest in their stock. And then there are people who will invest solely on whether or not you're DEI, this or that. Look at every company that's publicly traded. I mean, CD Projekt Red has a huge DEI initiative.
I
You know?
swear they've gotten out of control with all that. And they used to be very, they weren't woke at all before. And all of a sudden, it's just taken over.
Yeah, all of these companies who are publicly traded, it's like a requirement. I suppose we'll see. I suppose we shall see if there's any. I saw earlier that it was trending. John Deere was trending. I put out a video on it and it completely flopped. But I don't know. Like my channel's acting weird today. My first video today really flopped too. And like twice a year this happens where like my videos don't go out and there's something weird going on. So I'm not sure. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see